Are you ready to find peace in your heart? Of course you do. I'm Coach EaZy, and welcome to the 'Cause It's Easy show. As an empowered empath, empowering mindsets, and confidence through adversity, I will help you connect and conquer. Listen in as we talk real about serious concerns in the world and learn how by working together we can make life amazing. You are the ultimate number one in your life, and that's why you can be whoever you want and do whatever you want without worrying what anyone else thinks. Why? Because it's easy with me, Coach EaZy. I believe there is a path to an easier way, and having God in your life is the key. On this show, laughter is a promise, and music is the spiritual language. Because it's easy. Starts now. It's Coach EaZy on the Radio Transformation Talk Show, Talk Radio. I got something for you guys, something new. I had some feedback there. Sorry, guys. That's why I got a little startled. So, humility. I wish I could have you tell me. Anybody know what humility is? I'm going to put my producer on the spot right here. Jonathan, what do you think? You know what humility is, what it means?
Hello, everybody. This is Jonathan. I'm Eric's producer here.
Producer Jonathan.
No, you're good. You're good. Humility. Geez. Let's talk about humility. I guess when it comes to humility, I think to myself, it's having this humble opinion about yourself. You know, just not taking yourself so seriously and not giving yourself such an ego boost, and really just being, human, not really believing that you're better than everybody else.
And you're spot on. I didn't even need that much, but you did. That's a good thing. It's basically exactly what you said, though. It's basically the quality of being humble. Obviously being able to laugh at yourself, or
right.
Not. It's definitely the opposite of ego.
Right.
Not being cocky. Basically, just knowing that everybody's not perfect, and including yourself. Knowing that everybody can make mistakes, just being able to laugh at yourself even sometimes,
Right, exactly. And not a lot of people know how to laugh at themselves.
I do it all my life. I've had to, though, because when I was a kid, that was my way of making friends,
Yeah, no, I agree.
So I was forced into it as a young kid. First of all, I had to start making fun of myself to make them stop making fun of me.
Right.
And then being able to laugh at stuff I did stupid, because I went through about 2 years. I think it was my 19 and 20 years old. I was clumsy. I don't know where it came from. Out of the blue, I just started being clumsy. It was like, I was kind of worried about it. Like, am I going to continue to be clumsy? Because everything I did, I'd trip over something or I'd fall, and I just laughed about it, and it went away eventually. But it was like, I just had to laugh at myself and make fun of myself.
And that's how I feel like a lot of kids get through their childhoods, especially when they're getting laughed at from other people. Like they have to realize that sorry about that. I just had somebody walk in, but laughing at yourself is really important, because a lot of kids especially go through that kind of traumatic, bullying and getting made fun of when they're younger. And the only way to really rise through it is just not letting it affect you.
Right. And it did affect me at first. It was one of those, I always call it survival skills.
Right.
Because it wasn't working when I was asking my parents to not make me go to school anymore. So I had to figure out something.
Right.
And honestly, it kind of continued on, though, because I was, I guess, kind of funny other than that, too. And then I was like, when you find something you're good at, you tend to keep doing it.
Right.
And it got me in a lot of trouble at school. I got kicked out of class quite a bit. I got in the hallway or the vice principal quite a bit, just because making people laugh was what got me kind of popular, I guess. But it was miserable up until then. Kids making fun of you is horrible. That's why I think I've always been that. All through my high school, I was always that guy that stuck up for like the nerdy kid or the not very popular kid, and even just waving at them and smiling, that almost makes their day sometimes, because I've been there. I know that feeling. That's what empathy is. You can put yourself in people's shoes. You tend to be a nice person when you have it. Were you picked on?
Hey, Let's see. I think I was actually the new kid after I turned like 10 years old. But when I was before 10 years old, when I was in elementary school, I was actually the one picking on other people. You know,
Were you a bully? I can't believe that,
I was a
man.
little
At
bit of
least
a
you're
bully.
honest, though. At
Yeah,
least you're
yeah,
honest.
yeah. I didn't realize like what I thought I was always just like having fun with my friends. I was like pushing them. Like my brother and
Right.
I used to roughhouse a lot when I was a kid. You know what I mean? So like
Right.
I would do the same with like my friends. You know, but sometimes like I didn't realize that they're not used to it like I was.
And that's the case too. Sometimes people can take it like they almost like if sometimes people can get over. I had a friend of mine that just was overdo it. Sometimes
Right.
you would just like, damn man, you're killing him. And then they would finally start to affect the person. You know, like, Jesus, man, let it off me a little bit, you know?
Yeah, exactly. You're like but that
Like
was the big thing about like childhood. You got to learn how to get your boundaries up. You got to make sure that you're not hurting anybody, but you don't know that, you know?
until you've experienced how what your limits are, you
Right.
really kind of don't know, you know. But it does. When everybody starts laughing at you, you're like, you can laugh with them for a minute, and then it starts to get to a point where like, okay, I think that's enough. But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, that's crazy. So you weren't? Was you? Did you fight even? I mean, I'm just curious.
No,
Get
no, I didn't
oh,
really fight. I would say it was more of just like making fun of people, like making fun of other friends that like had accidents or like embarrassing moments happen to them at school. But this, like, mind you, this is all before like I was 10 years old, so I didn't even realize that this was like
right. No, I get
that.
it. I mean, we grow up to a lot.
Yeah, and then after I moved from like a very urban area to a very rural area. So there was just like country farms and stuff like that, and I was the
I
new
think the
kid.
country humbles people because country boys are pretty usually pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So like after I moved, I was shy. I didn't really talk to anybody. I didn't want to like hurt anybody anymore. So I
I
just
didn't
kind
have a
of
lot of friends at the time.
no, I didn't really get any friends until I moved there when I was 10, and then I started making friends when I was like 16. Like good
I
friends when
got
I
you.
was 16.
Right. Well, that's interesting. I have to hear more about it. So, well, here's some leadership traits that go with humility. Um, call them the five eyes.
Let's hear it.
I don't know everything. I
Valid.
am not the smartest person in the room.
Right.
I'm lucky to have the opportunity, whatever it is.
Mm,
I can always learn more in life.
mm,
I can always be a better person.
right.
Those are all good points. I mean, as soon as you can figure out that there might be somebody that's got more information than you, they're smarter than you, or you're not the smartest one in the room, you'll go a long ways.
Right.
I learned that from my pops when I was little. Just don't ever think you're the smartest one in the room. Don't ever think you have the most knowledge in the room because someone else puts you in your place if you do.
Right.
So that's kind of something I went by. Also, so here's just five other, not the five eyes, but five traits of leaders. Give others recognition for success you've had. Don't take all the glory. You know, share that glory with people. Be open to improving your abilities or skills as a leader. Never think you have it all figured out and you're the only one that knows it. Because the key to that is making other people better around you also. Recognize accomplishments of others and reinforce those successes. 4, leading by example without pointing it out. So just doing it. Don't point it. Well, guess what I did, guys? I did this. Could you do that? You know what I mean? That's just do it, and people will see you. And then showing empathy when others make mistakes or have struggles. If they're a good employee and they obviously they're working with you or for you, they have obviously done a pretty good job for you over the years. If they have a bad month or something, you know, show them some empathy instead of what's going on, why are your numbers down? That never helps any situation. You have to realize you've been maybe bad in your time. You know, you've never been perfect your whole life, that's for sure. I was one of my favorite sayings is when you're perfect, then you can say something to me. But anyway, so humility, it's kind of I've always said humble, but I'm starting to like that word humility more. Um, one thing for me is I've been lucky enough to have that instilled in me for the most part, because one of the things I used to tell people is I almost feel like everybody, and I don't want anybody to have this literally, but anybody that can go through this will change you. Anybody that loses everything, like say they lost all their stuff, like maybe they somehow maybe their house burned down or whatever, you lost your job, you lost every kind. A lot of people going through that right now in America. But lose everything or almost die. I know that sounds kind of morbid, but you figure out life is a lot more, you're more appreciative of what you have when you don't have it. One thing is your life, you have clothes, you don't have your belongings. That will humble you in a big time hurry. And sometimes you're forced into having humility. I don't know if it's something you could just make yourself have, or if it's something you have to be affected by to make you have it. So try to keep that in mind. Definitely, humility is definitely attractive. I think I've had women tell me that humility is attractive. They don't want that cocky guy that thinks he's done everything.
No, the overconfidence is definitely something that I'm averse to. Like when people come in thinking they know everything, especially like anybody who's in like a higher power a leadership position, it's really hard to actually believe that they are serious about anything or they actually know what they're talking about, because the energy that comes off that cockiness that you're talking about, it really just emanates and you just can't take it seriously.
It turns you away, turns you off big time.
Right, so it really does.
We're gonna get more into that in here in a minute after this break. So come back and check it out. We're here on the Transformation Radio Talk. This is the Coach EaZy with the Cousins EaZy Show. See you soon. Welcome back to the Cousins EaZy Show with your host, Coach EaZy, my producer, Jonathan. Good man.
What's going on, everybody?
Yeah, he's
just hanging out here. Here, keeping you company.
He's just hanging out. He's got to watch the show anyway. He might as well join it, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
Without him, the things don't work, man. So he's the key to this operation.
It's a team effort.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So humility. It's, like you said, another way of being humble. It's basically the same thing. Once you accept humility, you're up, you're set, because realizing that life is crazy, life is funny, it's silly, bad things happen, good things happen. Sometimes you look dumb, sometimes you look smart,
right?
Sometimes you make somebody laugh because you did something that you didn't mean to do. As soon as you can laugh that stuff off and realize that life is just that way, and it's not something you can control and not let it affect you, and who cares what people think. And that was another thing I've been kind of reading about, is goes right with it, is not getting into a relationship with somebody to fulfill your own health, fulfill your own loneliness or your own happiness.
Yeah,
you have to be happy with yourself first. You can't expect somebody else to fill that for you until you have it figured out first.
Right.
And that's what I had to do. I mean, because they say, you get into relationships, the ones that are serial relationshipers, that, they date somebody for a couple months or maybe a year, and then they get out and they tend to cheat and all that other stuff. It's because they're not happy with themselves. You got to be happy with yourself. And some of that comes with humility.
Right.
It happens to a lot of football players, like in like maybe college or high school, that were superstars, and they're really just normal, regular people in the world now. They're graduated. They're not anything special. They have a hard time adapting to the world without being known as they need humility big time. You didn't play sports, did you, John?
I did track in high school, but actually I kind of like failed out of it. Not so much like really put all of my effort into it. Huh?
Yeah, I was a stud athlete till 9th grade.
Yeah.
I was like the small kid. Then I grew 6 inches my junior year. By then I'm like, who cares? I ain't playing now.
It takes a lot of dedication, but I didn't have that. I didn't have that passion for it,
Me either. It was just, for me, football, I wasn't going to do 2-a-days if I wasn't starting. No. Not a chance. So here's some good benefits, obviously, of being humble. Um, it makes you more happy.
Mm.
I believe you find yourself to have more happiness when you're humble. We're still talking humility, same thing basically, but it's it helps you keep from being jealous if you're in a relationship. Just knowing that, here's my thought on that whole part, real quick. You don't want to be controlling, because that'll make a girl leave right away. Or man, women can be controlling too. Um, it can hurt your relationship real quick, because if someone's going to cheat, or you think someone's going to do something you're not wanting them to do, they're going to do it. You can't control that by controlling them.
Right, right. There's a thing that
You have to
I
have faith that
usually,
she's a good person, right? You
yeah,
just have to
yeah.
have faith that she's a good person. Because if
Right.
she, I mean, you want to find out sooner than later anyway if she's going to do it. But controlling her is going to make her leave even quicker.
Yeah, like working with Transformation Talk Radio, I hear a lot of different people talking about their different perspectives on a situation, especially when it comes to controlling. But what I typically hear is that when somebody really tries hard to prevent something from happening, their actions
Right.
wind up making that thing happen.
Bingo.
You know?
I mean, I've seen a lot of, not even just friends, like not all my friends, but there's a few of them that I could probably name, that they would do that controlling thing.
Right.
And then they end up, either the woman either breaks up with them, or they end up cheating on them, or they become these cowering people that don't want to say a word because they're afraid they might get in trouble. You know what I mean? There's so many bad things that come from being jealous.
Right.
And jealous is not healthy for you either. That's something you got to deal with. I mean, if you're a
Mentally
jealous
and physically too, like having that kind of
Absolutely.
stress on your body is just not good for you. And like being able to like tell yourself that it's not you, like is part of having humility.
Exactly. And that's the thing. So like you have to just be like, she's gonna cheat, she's gonna cheat. Like, I can't control that. So just try to have fun. And more than likely she's not. You don't know for sure. I mean,
Yeah, but
but
then
people
like
get
if
that
she
in their
does
head.
cheat, it's not actually your fault, it's her fault,
Right.
Yeah.
And you weren't gonna do it anyway, because she already wanted to do it. You don't want to be with somebody like that anyway.
Right.
I've told that to people before. You worrying about him cheating is just doing you no good, because he's gonna do it either way. So what you do is you got to get rid of him, or you're gonna just have to suck it up, because you can't let that stress you all the time. So yeah, having humility will help your relationship for sure. Means spirituality ain't a bad thing either. I never like to push that on people, but I find myself at more peace knowing that I'm strong in my faith. Right.
Right.
I'm not some big church guy, but I have my relationship, with God, and it does help. No, I mean, just knowing that He's got more say so than I thought He did. Because that's another thing. Old Stevie Harvey, my man, he said, God removes people from your life because He heard something you didn't. And that hit me for hard. And then he said, then he also said that, you, everybody, well, let's just go back for a minute. So basically, I believe this. He didn't say this part, but I believe people are put in your life for a reason.
Yeah, I believe that too.
I think I've changed. My friendships have all changed. Not that I still don't love my old buddies, but we just don't talk to each other. We're on different levels, different, things nowadays. But the people that have come into my life that have been new to my life, it's funny too, because I feel like most of them are empaths, because we connect on, and I always right away I go, "You an empath?"
But that's how you know you're good. That's how you know you're good friends, That's how you connect with people.
Right.
But we don't know that when we're
And
younger.
so many similarities, you know what I mean? There's so many things that I'm like, I feel like some of these people, like, I really know for sure God put them in my life.
Right.
It's like, wow, there's no other reason for you to be in my life. Because like there was a stage I went through during COVID where I was really depressed. Just I felt like everything, the world was collapsing on me. Like it was just in a bad way. And these people picked me up. It was like, wasn't expecting it. And I'm grateful for that, really. So yeah, doesn't hurt to have some spirituality. I've never understood why you wouldn't have some. I don't care. I'm not going to say anymore, but I mean, it doesn't hurt to have it, But anyway, the other thing, and this is what I concentrate on with my clients mostly, is confidence. Having confidence is so important to your everyday life. You don't have to be cocky. There's two different things. But being confident, because if you're not, it holds you back from so many things in life. And that happened to me. That's why over the last several years, I've really changed my whole outlook. And having confidence along with humility, along with humor, it's a pretty good recipe right there.
Yeah, but like it ties into what we were talking about before the show, that there has to be like a balance between confidence and humility. You know what I mean? Because having too much confidence, you're not humble. Having too much humility, you're not confident.
True. And that's where I always say that's where I say you got to kind of try not to let it go up to cocky, because cocky can come in real easy sometimes. Confidence, if you get too confident, like what I always say, overconfident, that's when you start screwing up, when you get overconfident.
Right.
And you don't follow your normal, like in sports, people that go into batting slumps, they're doing something little that's wrong. And a lot of it has to do with being overconfident. And then sometimes you just need that little Texas leaguer, the little pop up over the infield. And your whole outlook is like, because you need confidence. Confidence goes with sports big time.
Yeah.
You can really struggle if your confidence drops when you're playing sports.
Oh yeah.
And you just can't let it get to the point where it's cocky, because then you're going to screw up. You're going to lose some of your normal technique because you think it's just too easy.
That focus. It's that focus.
Focus, right. So overconfidence can be a bad thing too, yes.
So then how do you figure out what the balance is between the two?
It's easy for me. It's kind of like I lived it my whole life. Like I was confident in a lot of things I did, but I almost could sometimes be on the verge of the cocky. When I almost went pro bowling. That was the only thing I was good at.
Nice.
That's real good. Yeah, I went and bowled in one professional bowling tournament. It was $200, and I remember that was a lot of money at that time. Like, I can't freaking afford to be a pro bowler, because you got to have money. Like sports, you have to have money to be a pro bowler. Get sponsors and shit later.
You got the polo shirt though. You fit.
Well, they did. They made me cut the Dockers tag off my pants.
Dang.
Didn't have any advertising, and I didn't quite make it through the whole tournament because my thumb got swelled up, and it was like, I'm not going to win anything, so I left. But it was pretty cool just to try it. But I know that in league I could get a little cocky, especially if I'd had a few drinks, because most of the time it's because we were battling somebody, and my emotions get the best of me sometimes, and I wouldn't be like mean to anybody, but I might walk back and go, yeah, like pumped up.
Oh yeah. I saw that F-bomb coming. I saw that.
Did I just say it?
No, I saw it coming though. You almost got
right. Well, and then I would get even more pumped up if the rest of the team was bowling good. I'd be the first one high-fiving them, and that could come off a little cocky.
Right.
But I'm also a motivator, so that has to do with motivating the rest of them. What was my weakness was I was the hardest on myself when I did bad at anything. I mean, I would beat myself up after a baseball game. Even if we lost the game and I went 0-4, it was all my fault. Right. That's how I put it in my head. It was silly. So you have to change I've had to change my whole personality a lot. I mean, that's why none of my friends talk, because I'm different. But I don't, you know what I mean? I'm not mad about it. It's humility. I mean, it is what it is, man. Sure. I can't control it. I still love them if they need me. I'm always loyal. But yeah, you definitely got to be able to separate humility with it. But
yeah,
I think humility is easy though. I just feel like it's easy to do.
It's situational. I feel like everyone's got their own situation going on, so they have to find what works best for them.
Well, that when I was younger,
right,
it wasn't easy because I would always make excuses. Right, but I would make excuses every time I screwed up or something. Like, well, that dude was, that's not humility.
Right.
You got to just take it. It's what happens. It happens. It's life. So, well, folks, been great. Hope you like Jonathan. He's pretty good.
Thank you.
He'll probably be helping me. He's been helping me for a while here. So
I'll be here.
He'll be here. He's got to run the show. So everybody, good night on the Because It's EaZy show with Coach EaZy. You have been listening to the Because It's EaZy show with me, Coach EaZy. Empowered empath, empowering mindsets, and building confidence through adversities. Tune in every Tuesday at 3:30 Pacific, 5:30 Central Time on TransformationTalkRadio.com, where I, Coach EaZy, will show you the easy way to make your life simple, abundant, and amazing. No matter what you have experienced in your life, you can feel positive, confident, learn to laugh, and have fun again. For more information on the Cuz It's EaZy approach, visit CuzIt'sEaZy.com. Cuz, C-U-Z, it's easy, EaZy.com.